Hey everyone, welcome to this video tutorial on Adobe After Effects. In this video, I will give you a brief introduction into the software and its plus points, and then I will go through and get you comfortable with the software's interface and tell you where all the panels and windows and the important areas are. Now, this is the first time where a lot of you will be using Adobe After Effects, so let me give you an introduction. It is a industry leading software, and it's a very popular application that's used within the creative industry. It's used for creating graphics that move, motion graphics, compositing, animation, and visual effects. I'm sure there's stuff you've seen from the small screen on YouTube to the big screen in cinemas that has had After Effects with it or put through it. Now, it is ideal for moving text, images, working with composed preset videos with effects on them, and working in 2D and 3D space. One of the best things with After Effects being a part of the Adobe family, it's linked with other Adobe softwares, especially Photoshop. You could create your graphics, your photographs, your images within Photoshop, and then you can animate them in After Effects without any problems. One thing I tend to do is when I video edit on Premiere Pro, and if I need to put any special effects or filters onto my video, I can put it in After Effects and put it back into Premiere Pro without any problems. As highlighted, you can work with images, photographs, graphics that you create, videos that you filmed or videos by other people, and some audio configurations you can do as well. Now, important things to know before you kick off. Probably some new words, new phrases, new terminologies. Project panel, composition window, and timeline panel. These are areas within the software's interface that I'll get you comfortable with shortly. Composition might be a new word. Composition could mean one of these three things. It could mean a project, it could mean a sequence, which you may be familiar with from Final Cut Pro, and also grouping. So when you're using After Effects and you need to create a new project, it's not the word, it's creating a new composition. If you want to put stuff on your timeline, you need to look at your timeline and edit the composition. If you want to group a number of things, that can be done via a composition. And again, once you learn After Effects and get better at it, you'll understand the word more. Keyframes is a key word within After Effects. As you can see, when animating objects, you will use keyframes, which are represented as diamond icons. So in the timeline panel, you will see a number of keyframes, and they're an important part when moving your objects. AEP is the file extension for After Effects projects, but it is not an output format, means it's not an exported version of your video or whatever you're making. You will need to go to File, export your video in a suitable file format. It is just a project file. So if you're looking for your After Effects, if you want to save your work, continue with stuff that you started before. If you want to save your work, it will save it as an AEP file extension. You can only work on one project at a time. So like in Photoshop, you have numerous documents open. You can't do that. You can only work at one project on at a time. And save often. If you're using a PC, Control-C. If you're using a Mac, if you're using a PC, Windows machine, Control-S. And if you're using a Mac, it's Command-S. So let me get you comfortable with After Effects. So when you load After Effects on a PC machine, on a Windows or on a Mac, it will have this layout. So at the top, you've got your application bar, and we'll go through that shortly. Underneath the application bar, you've got a toolbar right underneath it with numerous tools, like the text tool, the shape tool, the camera tool, the clone stamp tool, the eraser tool, very similar tools to what you have in Photoshop. This box here that I'm highlighting on the left hand side with the word project, that's your project panel. Shortly I'll load up a document and you'll see this is where you store all your files. Anytime you create a composition or import files, graphics, photographs, videos, it will all be within this panel here. This middle panel here, this big one here where it says composition, that is your composition window. That is basically your stage. So when you're creating something, everything you do can be seen within there. And there are some useful tools below it. At the bottom is your timeline panel. And you can see, well, you can't see much at the moment, but over here in this left space, this is where all your files will be. This is where your duration, your time, your ruler will be. And your diamonds will be created within this space here. And you can see at the bottom, you can zoom in and out of your timeline. On the right hand side are some useful panels that you may need when using specific tools. So if you're using the text tool, the character panel is there, so you can change your font, size, color, and so on. And then we've got the effects and presets panel here, which we'll look at in another video. Okay. Let me show you what an active project looks like in Adobe After Effects. So I'm just going to go to File, Open Recent Projects, just load up the first project I have. Hopefully when you create a new composition, it will look very similar. So we've got the project panel up here, and you can see it's looking a bit more lively than it did before. I've got all my documents that I'm using for this project here. I've got image files, I've got Photoshop files, Illustrator files, I've got video files. Everything you insert or import will be within here. This is the composition window, and you can see that my project is quite live. I've got things going on, and everything will be visible within there. And there'll be outline boxes just to show you where everything fits on the stage. At the bottom within the timeline panel, this specific timeline, you can see I've got a few things going on. I've got a number of text layers going on. I've got a color block there. My timeline shows its numbers, its duration, and the blocks are kind of represent the visibility of each layer. So this specific layer, what we are doing will be shown roughly between 9 seconds and 14 seconds, and then it will disappear. And again, you'll learn about these blocks in other videos. Okay, if you have any questions, please ask Vishal or Andrew on Adobe After Effects. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the software and the interface. Go to the next video.